I've done a load of F1 cars up to now, starting in the 1950s. But I only focus on cars that have either done something weird, like the Porsche blip, or cars that have done firsts, like the mid-engine Cooper, or the wings that started on the Lotus. But to date, I've not done a Ferrari. And here's the thing. Ferraris have never really been inspired. They've just been inspired by other teams and then copied what they did. They just copy and slightly improve. That was basically it. And that brings us to this, the Ferrari 312T. Do you know what this car did? Nothing, apart from a small little weird transmission differential thing. But it still managed to be the single most successful F1 car to have ever existed. And I just had to make this car. Future editor Phil here. I realized about halfway through that I had my webcam on and there's actually nothing showing on said webcam. So what I have to do is put something there. And the kids these days like Fortnite, right? So there we go. Fortnite dances. Woo! Get me more views! Now I can put Fortnite in the tags. Woo! Speaking of engagement and all that sort of stuff, YouTube tells me that most of you are subscribed. Thanks. That means you guys are actually really cool viewers and want to keep coming back. Thank you so much. I just had to make this car. Finally, because I also really do actually like Ferrari a lot. But it was so cool looking. Here's the problem though. This was the most complicated body I have ever tried to make. It's just got some of the weirdest shapes ever. So because of this, I have actually changed how I do my 3D modeling, and that will be shown in my next video. But for now, I'm going to show you the two variations I made. One where it was the early version with a big scoop on top, and then the later version without said scoop. That was due to a rule change that happened, I think, in 1977. Anyway, this is Niki Lauda's Ferrari. And here's where things get a little bit muddy when we get into the design of it. Here it says that it's an aluminium monocoque, and I've seen that written in a few places. But Wikipedia says it's a steel tube frame with aluminium shear panels. So I don't entirely know what that means. I'm guessing that it's not just a complete steel tube frame, though here I'm noticing it does actually say it's a monocoque structure. What the hell? Even in Wikipedia's own wording, can they not get this right? So I think we're gonna go with aluminium panels, a monocoque, and, well, I think steel is the only option we can get. If we can't get this light enough, we will go back and change how things are made. But we're gonna go a mid-longitudinal, a double wishbone on the front, though it is push rod. I would like to have push rod as an option. But if I jump ahead 10 years? Nope, what about another 10 years? Hey, look, there we go, we got push rod, woo! So, 1990 is the earliest year for push rod, and we'll just put the quality up. I could go carbon fibre, but no. Now, here's where it's gonna get a little bit tricky, and we're gonna have to export two versions of this car. And that's because this is actually a flat 12 and not a flat 6. So we're gonna make the 12 version first. So we're gonna go a actual V12, and we're gonna make its bore and stroke identical and try to match everything else up. So 80 bore and 49.6 stroke. 40, oh, no, okay, can't go low enough. Okay, we'll bring this back up to 80, make this a dual over cam, 4-valve cylinder, make it out of more aluminium, have a harmonic dampener, sure, why not? And then just a whole bunch of forged stuff. You know what, I can actually down the engine year back to what it should be. And 1975 is the year it was, and yeah, good, okay, we've still got forged as an option, good. In fact, actually, we can go lightweight forged. Go injection, mechanicals, per cylinder, and race, and there's the engine, which we're gonna grab the power numbers from. Everything else will be the flat 12 that we're going to work on. Race tubular, dual, and now. What numbers do we need? 485 horsepower? Here it reckons it starts at about 500 horsepower. Okay, well, let's go for about 500 then. 372 kilowatts. And that's at 12,005. Oh no, we can't go that high in the RPM range. We can only go 12,000. Bugger. Seems we also have a slight issue with valve float. There we go. Yep, there's everything we needed. Okay, yep, valve float is a big issue here, and we're almost at the amount of power that we need already, and it seems we just can't get away from valve float? What is going on? Oh, you know what I just realized? These probably use that weird springless system where the camshaft physically moves and lifts the valve. 11.8 to 1 compression. And we're almost at the power that we need, but kind of at the wrong power band end. Also, we have way too much torque, like a lot too much torque. A lot too much torque. So we're pretty much right on power. 372 kilowatts, we're 1 kilowatt off, but 390, that's nearly 400 Newton meters. And here it says we only need 320. Ugh, this is gonna take some tuning. All right. I spent a lot of time finagling, and this is basically as good as it's ever gonna get. So, what I did, block quality up. This stayed pretty much as is. Oh wait, hold on. I think I realized why yeah, okay. Yeah. Oh, I can't even get that low enough. 49.6? Oh, I can't get this low enough. Oh, well, now we're a little bit better. Our torque is coming in a little too late. Our power's coming in way too early. I just give up. I can't do it anymore. So let's go ahead and give it a listen. Oh, my voice is starting to go. Oh dear. So, as a lot of you may know, I've had the big Rona, and that means that I can't talk very much. So I'm just gonna drop my voice down a little bit for the next while, if you don't mind. And... It sounds atrocious! Oh my god, I can't stand it! That was not good for my voice. Anyway, let's move along. I'm gonna go with the no top version, though the top version is there if you so please. And whilst we're working on this, I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna hide the chassis. And you know what? At some point, we're probably also gonna hide that suspension. Now, rear wheel drive, manual, 5-speed. Automatic locker is probably how it got its power. We're still way too early for radial, so we're gonna go cross plies. Gonna go with a semi-slick tire because we have slicks now. We will do our tire finagling bit in a little bit later, and we're gonna have a magnesium wheel, some vented discs up front, and some vented discs in the rear. We're gonna go with a no under tray as of so far, maybe a semi-clad, who knows. A brake cooling all the way up. Interior, a single seat, basic, and yet no radio, thank you very much. No power steering, no ABS as of yet, no safety, because about the really only safest thing that they have is that the F1 regulators said that you had to have a crushable fuel tank area, so then the fuel tank wouldn't just burst the moment it got any sort of ding in it. And a standard spring, gas monotube, and we'll set this to a race. All right, let's finagle some things around. 880 kilos, oh dear. It weighs almost exactly the minimum weight requirement, which is 575 kilograms. This change actually happened in 1973, by the way. I don't think I mentioned that last time. Now, wheels and tires. Luckily, we have resources like f1technical.net, which I've never heard of before. Front's a 10 by 13. 10 inches though, what's 10 inch? 254s on the front? That doesn't seem right. Maybe that's the wheel and then the tire is stretched. Unfortunately, it doesn't tell us that information. Let's try and corroborate their information. So the tire itself is at about 210s. The wheel is at about 270. Well, this is probably not a good enough picture. How about this one? 257? Yes, that is actually really close. So the tire itself is 210. Oh, near enough. We are so close. All right, let's bring that up a bit. There we go. 210s on the front. And that means on the rear, if the wheel diameter is to be correct, is it 17, 18, or 13? What's happening? Is it 7? Oh, okay, you know what? It's either 17 or 18 is the... this probably changed on a 13-inch wheel. We can make it 13. That's easy. Let's go with a 17 to start with. 17, 431. And is that accurate here? No, this is nearly 500. Even at 18, that's only 457. So let's take this as a grain of salt and say that our tire width would be somewhere around 380. Time to make the rear tire a whole lot bigger so we can get the actual size. Now, the reason why you don't stretch out tires and why we're making it really tall so we can make it wide is because if you try to make it wider in here, it's not actually giving it more grip, it's giving it more width, but the compound stays exactly the same, which means that you're dividing the weight up along the extra width, so the extra traction is not really going to help at all. Thank Groundhog for that one. Yeah, they helped me figure that one out. Now we have to go ahead and shrink those down. Luckily, we can just measure this out for what the diameter is going to be. It's going to be about 67. We'll just round that off to about probably what, 70? Yeah, 70 is not far off. So how we do that is rather simple. Grab this thankful ruler, align that, rotate that 90 degrees, then 3D drag it out, and scale this on the red axis to 0. What was it, like 68? There, that'll do. Now, we shrink the wheel down to that size. We actually turn the wheel invisible here so we can just get this set up just Right, and now we're gonna go to rear wheel and change tire diameter until this moves down with everything. Bugger. Until we can kind of see through there. And I think that is good enough for our rear tires. Now, to do the same thing to the fronts. Yay. But at least you know how to do it now, so that's the good thing. And that looks to be good. And move more onto the design sector of it. Now, here's the thing, we have colors to choose from, and I made lots of color choices here. So you've got the main body, you've got this part, this part, this part, which is that little lip down there, then that part, which is the interior part, which is sometimes body colored, and then this part, which is a little bit of a trim line around here. Then in here, you've got ventilation area, which if you have the scoop part, will also be the ventilation for that. Let's go down. Give ourselves a grill. That looks hideous. Oh no. Go ahead and change that pattern up to be a better one. There we go. I wish I could change the rotation on this because that misalignment, not great. Oh, you know what it is? Hold on. I have to adjust the suspension independently here because currently it's looking a little bit like a Hot Wheels car. So let's bring that rear end down a bit. Suspension, rear, down you come. Nice. It's working pretty well. And I think I'm going to try to replicate this one, which has a white upper and a red main body. So let's pick a red, no flake. Bring that shininess down. How about a darker red? I'm not sure. Is that Ferrari enough? Ferrari's red isn't very vibrant, but it's not very shiny either. So I think maybe we'll go a little bit custom here. A little bit brighter, and I'm kind of happy with the shininess. Maybe down a little bit. You know what? Hold on. Look how cruddy that paintwork is. It's like some sort of enamel paint. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with plastic. Turn that roughness back down so it looks like a paint, and you can see the bumpiness in here. Let's turn the size of the bumpiness up and turn the amount of bumpiness up. There we go. That's looking very accurate now. Look at these weird shape body lines that I've polygonated, made with polygons. Yeah, it's not come out great, this car. But oh my god, the amount of work that went into this and my realization that I just can't make bodies like this anymore. I had to change it. Anyway. Next, let's go on and pick ourselves the secondary colors. We've got ourselves just a little bit of a tint of yellow in there because getting a pure white was pretty much impossible back then. Really hard to do nowadays still. Then a white lip along here, but I don't think I actually gave myself that option. Whoops. So we're just gonna have to give everything that white lip, unfortunately. Whatever, it'll do. I think it's because I was running out of like paint slots. There's not enough paint slots to give you a complete livery here. If you want to do a real livery, do it yourself! And I think we're gonna make the cockpit inside as well also this color. Because you want to see something weird? Yeah, so headrests were now becoming mandatory. Want to know what Ferrari did? They put a wart on it. Look at that weird headrest. That is so weird. Why have they done this? Anyway, the next thing is to have these big, weird, not quite, but slightly knacker things here. And luckily, I made myself some flush knacker a while ago. Don't forget to pick these up in the automation workshop. They are free. And then make the interior white. And we're going to try to scale this up, but unfortunately, I can't get it too close to this white brim here, so I'm going to have to finagle this around just a smidge. And look at the size of this. It comes all the way down almost to the point. So it needs to be huge. You know what? I think I'm going to use some patchwork over this to cover it up a bit. Now, grab ourselves some lovely little patchwork and plop you over top. Nice. You can barely tell that there's patchwork on top now. Fandiddly-tastic. I'm almost in love. Now, as for the engine, it does need to be a lot further forward. Now, we are going to replace the engine. Not entirely sure how we'll do it yet. So just for now, I'm going to go in and, what is it, safety aids? Yeah, okay. I'm going to change the weight distribution to be a lot further forwards. And if we flicker the body back and forth a little bit, you can see that the fuel tank would have gone in right about here. Because I think that they, by this point, didn't allow it to be on either side. But here's also another little thing. I got a lovely hole in there. Isn't that fantastic? You can just see everything inside. Actually, what's meant to be in there is radiators. And let's hope that you guys have also got these. Oh, that's almost perfect right off the bat. Fantastic. I think that's about as good as we're going to get. It's tucked in there really nice and tight. And mirrored, obviously. Now for the wing section. On the front, we have just a regular old, fairly straight flat wing with some lovely little end plates on the side. So I think we're going to pick this wing, except flat, please. Please go horizontally. There we go. If we average out the fact that this looks like it's on the inside of the tire and this one looks like it's on the outside of the tire, that would mean that it does go, in fact, in the middle of the tire. Logic! So, make the leg invisible. Don't like to see anybody's nuts on the outside. And, oh, wait, hold on. Should our front suspension be a bit wider? I think it should be. And the rear suspension should maybe be a bit narrower, because this is meant to really hug in there. I think what we're going to do, it's because I don't want to mess with the front suspension too much. It's already coming out too far. What we'll do instead is change the rear wheel offset to be much narrower. Hope that it doesn't poke through too much. Then we'll get that hug in nice and tight. Looks fairly good. And then the front tires need to be much wider, otherwise they're going to rub on the chassis. Now, what sort of wheels do these have? Oh, those are weird wheels. Yep, they're weird 4-spokes. I don't think I have anything like that. Not even close. I think I'm just gonna have to go with something like this. No, it's a 5-spoke, but at least it has like the rivets around the thing as a like multi-part wheel. In fact, this is a little bit closer, a little bit more technical looking, and it's got the center lug nut. Now, gold center, very shiny metal outside. That should be quite easy to do. Oh, the coloring is sorted out weird. Bugger, I can't have shiny inside and a different color outside. Is that close? Kinda. All right. Let's ignore our failures and move along. Let's get back to this front wing now. Stretch that. No, hold on. Needs to have more tire offset. That we can do. Right about there. And then see if it's in alignment with the rear. Kind of is. If I'm looking here, they are very close. And that is just an entirely different body altogether. Luckily for us, I've got this 3D model that's available for free to look at. So I'll put this link down in the description. You can have a look at this one if you want, and you can kind of see there's not actually a whole lot of gap there. And it is very much in line with the outside. So a little bit of gap, mostly in line. Mostly in line, and the gap, it's a very tight gap. Let's just give it a little bit more offset. There you go. Hopefully that'll do. And now to finish off the tires with the piece de resistance, we're going to change the tire tread to be black plastic. Woo. Now here's my little tricks on what I do here. Very similar to what I did to the paint. Bumpiness all the way up and the size all the way up. Now the rest you change as you like. So let's turn the roughness up, turn the darkness down, and does that match that? Close enough. I love white writing on these wheels though. Oh, on the tire, sorry. But I suppose you can't have everything. So front wing, now that everything there is finalized, about there, that is a very big front wing. And that kind of confirms that yes, it is actually just a very large front wing. Here's where it gets a little bit tricky though. You see this rear wing here? There is like 5 to 10 different iterations and 3 to 4 major iterations of this rear wing. So I went, screw it. Making something this weirdly shaped is just too hard in automation. So along with this mod, I also made myself this rear wing. And this was also very hard to do. A lot. And I mean, a lot of attention to detail went into this rear wing. So if you don't appreciate this wing as much as the entire car, then why? Anyway, it sits right about there somewhere. And for the first time, I've actually put a sort of light fixture color here. So I don't like the way that it's like vertical like that. So we're gonna try to change that to something else. That looks good. That looks even better. And it is set to tail light. Let's switch that over to brake light. There we go. I am very happy with how this is turning out. Very, very happy. I just kind of want to go in and show you everything that I've done here. Like, I put the divide line in here. I put in the fact that this is 2 wings sitting on top of each other. And sometimes in some pictures, there's actually a small gap in there, which means that Ferrari would have been the first one to actually have a multi-element wing in Formula 1 and not McLaren. Anyway, that's the wing I've chosen. Let's turn suspension off. I'm gonna have to do a lot of work to make the suspension be how I want it to be. Now, because I always forget mirrors, let's choose a mirror. They've got weird circular sort of ones that are up on a weird angle. Same thing here. So they're kind of like ovular, but they're up on an angle because they're not on a flush body side. Same thing there. Is this going to be... for a second there, I thought that this was going to be the first car to have uniform wing mirrors. I spoke literally a second too soon. Then they got these weird ones again and again. All right. Thank you, Wikipedia. You know frickin' helped me. That kind of works. I think that'll have to do. Time for some badging. And because I can't have colored badges, I'm going to have to make this one out of patchwork. Yay. There we go. Ferrari. Everyone knows what that is. Oh, dear God. All right, let's see if we can find a horse badge. You know what? Oh, yeah. Unicorn. Unfortunately, I can't color it, but I think it'll have to do. I want to show you something very quickly that I learned about badges recently. If we scale this out, look at that scale. Isn't that so normal and not weird in any sort of way? Oh, it's not actually, yeah. It's actually just a bunch of 2D layers. That's what badges are. I was so weirded out and baffled by that. But it does make sense as to sometimes why badges don't work in beamng. It's because it's not actually a three-dimensional object. It's a very weird thing. Anyway, moving along. We could put the green stripe along here and red stripe maybe. But I think we've learned that that is way too janky and hard sometimes. You know what? I'm so tempted. You know, yeah. Not so bad, actually. Now, I would love some white writing, but is this the only option we got? Wait, oh. Is some of this white? And here we've got cursive writing. And I noticed that this comes with cursive writing. So let's go ahead and put our name in cursive on there. Fantastic. White, yes. That is ugly ass font. Is that like Comic Sans Vomit Edition? Like, oh my god, it's fine. Oh, here's even more cursive-y. I see nothing wrong with retconning this and putting my own name on it. That is our car. We're gonna quickly release this one as the V12. Make sure our aerodynamics is set up right, which currently it isn't. We probably want somewhere around 100 kilograms on the rear. What if we up the quality? Nope. Okay, well, seems that we can't change that at all. You know what? I'm gonna hide a little wing in here because if this thing is not generating 100 kilograms of downforce, and then just tuck it inside there. I could paint it invisible, but I'm too lazy. Now we down the rear wing angle, somewhere around 100 kilograms, because literally there's no real information on how much it creates. You know what, actually I haven't Googled it this time. Usually there's just no information. So I suppose I just assumed. It reckons altogether it's about 300-ish kilograms actually. So I spoke too soon. This is the first time I've ever actually seen anybody quantify a value of downforce on one of these cars. So let's give it somewhere around 300 kilograms. I don't think that this is actually taking into consideration the version of the car which had a proper underbody. But I think we're good. Unfortunately, I can only make around 250, about 270 kilograms, which is about 60 kilograms shy, but whatever, I give up. It's good enough. What does automation reckon this can do around the test track? Hopefully less than 2 minutes now. Oh, so close, 2 minutes and 2 seconds. So goddamn close. All right, unbreakable fixtures, export the car. I just realized I had the webcam on this entire time. What is even that looking at? Make a clone, and this one loses the name because it's getting the flat 6. New project, copy this as well as possible. Make this a flat 6, aluminium, make this 80. It does not matter about any of the numbers because we're gonna take the power numbers from the other car. So as long as this engine block is the right size and everything looks exactly the same, we're all good. Basically the entire engine done already. And 81 kilowatts does not matter as long as it pretty much locks the part. So let's go ahead and finagle a few more things. That looks fairly close to what you might expect on a Ferrari. Make everything black, because everything back in the day was black. Or red, I suppose. Actually, this is Ferrari. Let's give it a red valve cover. That looks pretty close to what we should expect. And what we'll do is when we get it into the beamng is we'll take it out and we'll put it into Blender and then we'll duplicate it basically. Well, it's good to see that the automation devs haven't fixed the audio glitch yet. That is excessively loud. So yeah, we'll just turn that engine off, shall we? And you know what? We'll turn this one off too. We don't need that on. Now what we're gonna do is because we want the power from the big V12 into this car, we're gonna do a little bit of code copying. So we're gonna open up the V12 engine and then open up the regular engine. And from the V12 engine, all we need to do is copy these bits of code all the way down to about here. Copy that. Then over here, we just go and take all of that and paste it in. Now we could copy more from here, but we don't want to take over the audio sounds because that would be, you know, not so great. Now what you'll see is this thing has about 100 RPM. We've saved the other file, hit Control R on this car, and look at that. We've got now the power that we want. I mean, close. We weren't able to actually get the power that we want. I wonder what it sounds like though. Let's just give it a bit of a listen. That does not sound great. I wonder if we enable this, if that will sound right. So we'll put that to 12. Nope, still sounds like hot garbage. Let's just try taking the flat 12 engine sound and see if that works. Stick you in there, save that, and it now sounds like a V8. Great! Well, you know, it's not really much a whole lot better than that. Oh. You know what? I think I found the engine sound which fits it best. Whoopsie daisies, that wasn't meant to happen. What I went with was V8 flat engine. Now, if you remember all of this stuff that I did, it seems that there is a different variation here. So we're just gonna go in here and change that. And now you got more engine sounds. Woo! Yeah, I'll put a link to this. And It sounds pretty close. That's about as good as we're gonna get, I think. So the next things to do is, one, clean up this collision mesh. Now this is actually quite a clean collision mesh. If you know what they normally look like, this is not that bad actually. But coming around to the back, we've got a little bit of cleaning up to do here. As you can see, it's messing things up a little bit. A lot. First though, I want to go in and turn that engine off. I want to duplicate this engine because I really want to. And we're going to do a few things here. We're going to take the engine and the front suspension. Everything else can go. Now, all we have to do is take the engine and duplicate... What? Where's the manifold? What? Hold on. It didn't export the... What? Now I've seen it all. All right, well, we'll work with it anyway. So all we have to do to start with is copy that, and move it along, right? Yeah, sweet. Oh, what the hell is that? All right, it seems that there's a little bit more to this. Now we've got, okay, God damn it. Now we've got everything, you know, apart from that part. But there's nothing we can do about that. So we're gonna go Shift D on this, and then move that along, and this we're gonna butt up against here, but we have to do a little bit of work first. I'm also just realizing I probably should have made the manifold first as well, because we do have to make that manifold from scratch, and that's gonna be annoying. Without further ado, the car. Yeah, okay, after a whole bunch of finagling and a whole bunch of fiddling with the collision mesh as well to make that as nice as possible, and with a new thing that I'm using now, if I go Control N, you can see stab 1 and stab 2, that's meant to be stabilizer 1 and stabilizer 2. Bring up beams, you can see that I've connected pretty much every normal moving beam to these stabilizers to help reduce a bit of the jiggle. Now let's get rid of all of this and let's go have a look at this fantastic engine I put together. So I put in the correct sort of like bank angle that was on these as well. I did a fair chunk of work here. I got the suspension to look pretty good. Not so much on the back, but here we got like that weird transverse transmission. Not a transaxle, a transverse transmission transaxle thing. Yeah, anyway, whatever that is. Then down the front, we've finagled the front suspension to be a little bit more what it's meant to be. So, like, I've actually got the suspension still in there. It's just, I mean, you're not really going to see it because of the way the body is. I am rather proud that there is one thing I noticed, and that is this little badge here is not mirrored on the other side for the agip. Ah! Oh, this is fully sick, bro. At some point, I probably will put in a turning steering wheel. That is something I want. I just kind of want it for every one of my cars that I, Formula 1 cars that I make. Oh dear, my voice is going already. I spent hours doing this, and I come back in to start doing the recording, and immediately my voice goes. Anyway, time to give it a bit of a test drive. So the other thing that we did is, you know how automation has that slider which moves the weight distribution more into the center? Yeah, no, that doesn't actually work still. It still does not work. So I had to also move the nodes further forwards. The car handles uniquely will be the word that I use, I reckon. But here we go, bringing it down, brake, and you know, it's pretty good, but whoa! Oh, too much weight still into the rear. And that is not exactly what I was hoping for. But you know, it's doing damn fine. Look at that. So fast with not actually a large amount of downforce. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh god, oh bugger. I noticed that there's a lot of oscillating back and forth, like a bending like a banana sort of thing. I think I know how to fix that, and I'm gonna put it in this new thing I was talking about. Turn that engine off, and what we want is this node here, which is RX3L, and the one below it, which is RX1L. And this is my new thing. I'll put a link to this in the description. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go right down the bottom, create some new lines, and call this RX1L. Then we're gonna connect these to the similar nodes in the front here, FX4L and FX 2L. Then we're gonna duplicate these. I'm gonna switch these up. So this one's now gonna get 2, and this one's gonna get 4. And then we're gonna duplicate all of this again, and we're gonna change all the L's to R's. So it does it the same thing on the other side, creating all these lovely cross-member bits, so then it'll do what we want it to do. So now this thing should hopefully jiggle less back and forth. And let's go back. So this thing has very little power under the curve. As you can see, it really only gets into its like power band at about 9,000 RPM. Also, I haven't changed actually the gear ratios at all yet, and the gear ratios should be very incredibly short. Now, I am also expecting this car to be so much faster than every other car previously to it. Now, I know that it gets a lot worse in the future. Okay, sometimes this thing just likes to understeer, and I think that has part to do with like its not great weight distribution. Apparently the distribution, as you can see, is kind of like a 2.2 to a 1.5. It's not great. So let's try a proper lap. Whew, okay, I'm doing this with a controller, and when I go over, and I am about to take this over to Monaco. When I take it to Monaco, I'm going to actually be using my proper rig. I just wanted to do a little bit of controller driving to start with. I probably should go full sweat mode. I think this also gets that wheelie sort of thing that the other March used to get. Remember how that thing got a wheelie? Oh god, there we go. A little bit of understeer there. I wonder if a little bit of braking in that situation will actually bring it back into line, because as it stands, lifting off doesn't really do much. A little bit of a brake here, and oh, nope, not quite good enough. And brake and turn, a little bit better that time, but not great. We are going quite slow. A little bit of a lockup, and oh, wheels out on the exit of the corner there. Not particularly great for a controller, but that's fine. Going around the Cotswolds. And understeer towards the end. God damn it. Ah! That looks like it hit. Alright, this time we're going to try to enter just a little bit later of an apex, and then power down nice and smoothly down onto the back straight. Oh, much better. I've only stuffed up one corner so far, but we'll just pretend that never happened. Now, this I've always struggled to get in this car so far. I think maybe just a little bit more. Yeah, okay. Turned in way too late there. I think it needs more front aero. Oh, that was a death crash. That kills. I'm gonna try 23% extra downforce angle, whatever, on the front. All right, let's try this again and turn in nice and early. And no, I still have to lift. Oh, I didn't turn in way too late on the turn in. Oh God, I've died. That's death. Oh no, the huge manatee. Try 140 this time, and maybe just a little less rear downforce. Maybe we don't need quite so much. Third time's the charm. Let's lift a little bit, turn it in, and oh, it's not quite done what I wanted to do. But we are going around there at a fair high rate of speed, so not gonna complain too much. Oh God, no! It's done the beamng thing. God damn it. Never lock up your rear wheels in beamng. God damn it. Full speed, lift a little bit, get it turned around, go, and 270. Okay, we're a little bit faster this time. And then at about 250, we're gonna start braking, because we can't brake too late, because if we lock up the wheels, it does that. Oh dear, that's fine. We made it around. God damn it. Oh, that is so frustrating that happened. Jesus, all right, come down. Let's go at about 125, I think that was. And that was an okay distance. Honestly, I want to see you guys make like a replica of this car as close as you can. And make the car like a little less jank. Oh God, I really should probably turn the traction of the tires up. Jesus, this thing is insanely scary. Like, I can just tell it's going. This is going to be much more fun with a steering wheel rig. Nope, that's fine. Whatever, we're going around. Oh no. Oh, the skill is just unbelievable. Oh, are we gonna? Oh, we were so close to a 2-minute lap. No! Look at that jiggle through the like blackouts on everything. That was just that's what I'm dealing with. And there's nothing I can do. Anyway, That's a 2:01. They'll easily get under 2 minutes if I could make it not spin. Oh my goodness. That was so much better. That was 3 seconds faster with just being like going full sweat mode. All right, great, love it. Let's go continue here. How's my brake temperatures? Oh, it reset the car. God damn it, beamng, why must you do this to me? Fine, let's go do Monaco. All right, hot lapping time. Oh, I beat it, but I think I can do better. So here is our hot lap, and really was quite a good lap. I was able to pull together all the experiences I'd learned. Like you see, braking in the right points, turning in late, getting on the power pretty early on here, and because we got so much more downforce than previous cars, you're going to notice here that I'm braking much later whilst going over the ridge. It's tricky. You have to be very careful there, and then apexing as late as possible so you can get the turn back and accelerate out of there as soon as possible. Now, I'm going to hit the wall here, you see, yep, but it doesn't matter. This is always the jankiest part of the track for this car. Now, there are a few little things I want to talk about this car specifically. Is this car was touted to have what was called neutral balance, which is a descriptor for cars that have neither understeer nor oversteer. And unfortunately, that was just too hard for me to get. I couldn't really do it, but I did a very good job, I think, with this car. And also, you'll notice here that I'll also keep the thing on the rev limiter as opposed to changing it to 5th gear. Just changing gears took a little too long. It always made things a little bit jank there, but I was able to go right over the ridge before braking. Now, yeah, as I was about to say, the other thing about this car is the fact that because that flat engine was really good for handling and all that sort of stuff, don't get me wrong there. Unfortunately, when it came to creating underbodies that create suction for ground effect, it really was way too wide and way too broad, and as soon as ground effect became a thing in Formula 1, this car struggled. And it took, unfortunately, too many years for them to actually end up replacing this vehicle, which is unfortunate because, oh my god, this car is so good! And here we go, around the final corner, bring it down to the thing, and, oh my god, a 147.7. That is amazing. No wonder so far I'm seemingly really loving this car. Like, the livery is probably one of the better liveries I've done so far. Now, I know that I did love the Lotus one, but this one, I don't know, just feels a little bit more polished. And the March, I mean, that one was never particularly amazing. But oh my god, I love this. So, I hope you guys will also love it and give it a try. I will put it on the beamng repository. It will be up there with the other cars. Consider going in here and, like, if you've tried out the cars, giving them maybe a bit of a rating. I don't know why I want a rating. I just do. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed today's video and this absolutely, really, really cool car. Finally, I have done a Ferrari, and I believe I have done it justice. But for now, I'll catch you all next time. Goodbye.